place to belong.
A place to grow.
A place to make a difference.
Tonight, we are continuing in our series, The Root, which is all of our core values here at LPY. Real quick, can someone tell me our first core value at Lifepoint Youth? Anybody remember? What? Yes, a safe place to belong. What's the second one? A challenge, a place to grow, all right? So last week we talked about growth. This week we'll be talking about our third core value, which is, anybody know? Anybody remember? Anybody know? Anybody remember? Yeah, a motivating place to make a difference. Good. So here's what I want you to think about for a second. Because that core value in and of itself is intentionally a little bit vague. Like, what does it mean to make a difference? And like, you're going to talk more about that in your small groups, but what does it mean for us as individuals to make a difference? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about, really quick, someone that you know has made a difference. Maybe it's in your life, maybe it's in the world, it doesn't matter. Just in your mind right now, think about someone who has made a difference. Whatever you think that phrase means. Like, whatever you think make a difference means, think of someone that fits that description. Everybody got something in their head? Somebody in their head, like immediately? Somebody want to share? Somebody raise their hand? Yeah. Pearl makes a difference. Absolutely. Anybody else? Will Brock. Hopefully I do. Anybody else want to share? Jesus obviously made quite the difference. Yeah. What else? Anybody got another one? Weston? Will? 100% Will does. Makes a difference. Somebody else? Do I? Me? Thank you. Hopefully that's not a lie. All right, let me throw one out there for you. Y'all tell me if you agree. Tell me if you disagree. Hitler. Did Hitler make a difference? Yes or no? Yes? No. Yes? No. There's a whole lot of y'all not participating. You didn't raise your hand. Did he make a difference or did he not? Okay, how so? How did he make a difference? Somebody tell me. Tell me how Hitler made a difference. Changed the course of history? He killed people, a massive amount of people. He was racist. So let me ask you this, real quick. So if make a difference doesn't necessarily mean that it's good, because hopefully no one in here thinks any of that is good, huh? Then what are we talking about? Because you can make it, this is really important, I need you to hear what I'm saying. You can make a difference in this world in a very bad way. In fact, I would say that perhaps everyone in some way is going to make a difference in life. In some degree or another, every one of us will make a difference. And you can either choose to make a difference in a positive way or make a difference in a negative way. But even in that, let's think about this for a second. Is there a difference in making a difference in a positive way and making a difference for Jesus? The answer to that is yes. Like, you can do a whole bunch of good things that's not for God. Like, I think about, for example, does anybody remember Tom's? Or is that like so far beyond that y'all don't even remember what that is anymore? Tom's shoes, is that still a thing? You know what I'm talking about? Does anybody remember like their strategy, what they do? Tom's gives a pair of shoes for every pair of shoes they sell. And so their whole platform when they first started was, we want to create a shoe company where we can literally give people shoes who don't have shoes. That's not for Jesus, but that's a very good positive thing, right? So what is the difference between making a difference in a positive way versus a way for Jesus? What I'm supposed to do tonight is to look at that. Because there's this really interesting story in John 6 that I think can shed some light on this. Because when we talk about the idea of you making a difference in the lives around you, your community, your school, everything else, I think youth start coming up with all of these barriers or these thoughts of why you can't do it in your head. In fact, one of your small group questions that you're going to have tonight is, what are some barriers to you making a difference? And we come up with all of these different things, like these self-doubts, like I can't, I'm not very persuasive, I'm not very popular, I'm not good at speaking. So obviously Will can make a difference because he's cool. And look at his hair. You know, like he's just a cool dude. He can make a difference. I'm not though, so I can't. And so we come up with all of these thoughts, like all of these problems, all of these ways that we can't make a difference. And what I want to show you tonight is a story that I think completely shuts that down. And so really quick before we get there, remember, here we have fun and we have focus. I should have already mentioned this right now, but we are in a time of focus right now. So I need you to get rid of distractions. If your phone's going to be a problem for you, I'm just saying, please put it under your seat. Like, we're not the phone police around here. It's not like we're going to start taking up your phones. But this time that we have right here to open God's Word is an opportunity for you. And I want you to maximize that opportunity and to get as much from it as you possibly can. So don't let your phone be a hindrance. Don't let your friends be a hindrance. Don't let people be a hindrance to you. If you need to move, then move. Don't let them ruin this opportunity for you, okay? So there's this interesting story in John 6. You've probably heard about it. It's a very, very famous story. You may have even sung about it tonight. We shall see, right? Where you have Jesus, who is absolutely a rock star at this point in his ministry, in his life. Like, Jesus is not just some carpenter's son anymore. He's not just some dude from Galilee. Like, he is literally done incredible things. He has done miracles. The word on the street is that Jesus is amazing. You should follow him. If you need anything, he can provide it for you. He's a really cool dude. And so what happens is Jesus develops this huge following. Not on Instagram, that don't exist yet. A following physically, where people literally, this is literally Instagram before Instagram existed, where people just walked with this dude. I don't know where he's going, but I'm just going to follow him. Lord knows what we're about to see. It's incredible stuff. And so you have this situation that we have in this story where all of these people, literally 5,000 men. The Bible says 5,000 men, not counting the women and children. So who knows how many people are here? But we know that there's at least 5,000 men. Are following Jesus, have been with him all day, and they go up to this mountain, this desolate place, and they have this situation arise. Look what it says. It says, now the Passover, the feast of the Jews, was at hand. Lifting up his eyes then, and seeing that a large crowd was coming toward him, Jesus said to Philip, where are we to buy bread so that these people may eat? So real quick, let me just spoil this story for you if you've never heard it before. What ends up happening is these people don't have nothing to eat. Jesus sits them all down. This boy has some loaves and fish that we're about to look at. He gets it, and from those 2 loaves and those 5 loaves and 2 fish, Jesus feeds all of these people miraculously. Yip, hooray. It's awesome, right? Incredible. But here's the couple things that I want you to see tonight. When we talk about this core value of make a difference, what I want us to see is that what Jesus does, like the specific decisions, intentional decisions that Jesus makes so that he makes a difference in all of these people's lives in various ways, which we'll look at. And I think that's the key to it first and foremost. I think that when you come up with barriers to how you can make a difference, and you start making all of these reasons why I don't speak well, or blah, 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 this or this, they're all illusions. Like, we all have different skill sets. We all have different problems. We all have different weaknesses. But what every single one of us in this room right now have that are children of God is a Father who is God. If you sit here tonight and you're a Christian, that means that God, the creator of the universe, who holds the world in his hands, is your daddy. And what that means is that the difference that you can make through him, keyword through him, or phrase, through him, is limitless. Your barriers, all of the things that you think that are preventing you from making a difference in your friends, in your family, in your culture, in your community, they are illusions that the world, our culture, you, your own mind, and Satan is trying to convince you of so that you don't make a difference, so that you live a mediocre life that affects no one. No one positive. No one sees Jesus because of your life. No one understands who God is because of your actions. That is the best case scenario for Satan. That is what he wants for you. He wants you to get so wrapped up in your own limitations and your own real weaknesses, because some of them are real, that you'll just meander through life and think that you're not enough, that you're not good enough, that you have all of these problems, and that you never make a difference in anybody's life. And it's all hogwash. It's all lies. The key to it, what we'll see here from Jesus, is this I word called intentionality. This idea that you and I would look for ways that we can make a difference. Not just sit back and just think it's going to happen. Because I think that's what we do a lot. Well, if I knew a way, I would. If I knew how I could make a difference, if I could just see an opportunity, if it would just pop up right in front, I would do it. But that's not reality. That's not the way it works. What you and I have to do is live an active life to where we look at the cross. We look at Jesus and we go, wow, he made a difference. What can I do to make a difference for his name and for his glory? And I will look for him. And that's what Jesus does right here. Lifting up his eyes then and seeing that a large crowd was coming toward him, Jesus said to Philip, where are we to buy bread so that these people may eat? What problem did Jesus just identify? They are hungry. These people have been walking all day. They are thirsty. They are malnourished. They are wore out. And what are we going to do? Like they've been following us. Are we just going to be like, good luck? That's what one of the disciples says. We have the same story in Matthew 14. Look what it says. When it was evening, the disciples came to him and said, this is a desolate place and the day is now over. Send the crowds away to go into the villages and buy food for themselves. That's what the disciples said. Like they see the same problem. Jesus brings it up. People are hungry. They are there's probably some diabetics in the crowd, like they need their sugar. And like they're starting to faint. Let's get them some food. Like we probably need to feed them. And the solution that the disciples come up with, well, we'll just send them away. Go in the village and buy you some stuff. I mean, that's reasonable. And that's what I want us to see first right here. You have to identify a need. You can't just wait for it to happen. It doesn't work that way. You have to be active and looking in your community, looking at the people in your lives, have a vested interest, care about people other than yourselves in such a way to where when something happens, a need arises, that you go, wow, that's a need right there. And when you bring that need up, listen, this is so important. When you bring that need up, I can almost guarantee you there's going to be people in your lives that offer a more rational solution that does not involve you making a difference. Well, they can just go get their own food. There's no way we could provide them food. Just send them away. There's villages, go into the other villages. They can get food there. Like, for example, let me just give you this example. And I don't necessarily think I'm wrong here, but it's an illustration of what I'm talking about. I text people all the time, but I text someone the other day who had this problem in their life, like this tragedy. And I text them and I said, hey, I just need you to know I'm praying for you. They text back, appreciate that, thank you. So far we are doing our social customs here, right? And then I said, let me know if there's anything I can do for you. And she sends back, okay, appreciate it, thank you. And that was the end of it. That is like the quintessential how we typically operate, right? In our culture. Hey, I'm praying for you. Just letting you know I care. If there's anything you can do, let me know. And I don't know, there's been a couple of times in my life, but 9 times out of 10, you know what they don't do when I text them that? Tell me something I can do for them. You know why? Because that's not the way it works. It's that I look at someone who is in need, just like Jesus did right there, and instead of asking them, what can I do for you, I see that, and I see a solution and how I can solve that solution, how I can be the filler of the gap that they have in their life, and I go meet that need. That's what I'm talking about intentionality. This is what Jesus does here. Because it says, their solution, send the crowds away to go into the villages and buy food for themselves. But Jesus said, they need not go away. You give them something to eat. You be the solution to their problem, not themselves. Don't just rush them away. We're trying to make a difference here, not solve, just get rid of them. They said to him, we only have 5 loaves here and 2 fish. And he said, bring them here to me. We will not send these people away. We will not say, if there's anything we can do, just let me know. He said, bring them here. Bring those needy people here to me, and I will solve their need. I will solve their problem. I will make a difference in their lives. And the story keeps going. Philip answered him, 200 denarii worth of bread would not be enough for each of them to get a little. Here's what I need you to understand right here. Sometimes, if not most of the time, the reason why we can't make a difference is we get too rational and we talk ourselves out of what we can actually do. Well, I would like to help them, but I don't have the resources to. I don't have the money to. I would like to solve a problem in this person's life, but that's just too big of a problem. I hope it works out for them. And I'm just saying, if Jesus takes that mentality right here, we don't have this story. Because it doesn't make rational sense what Jesus is about to do. He doesn't go, well, you know what, Philip, you're right. I hadn't even thought about that. It's a tremendous amount of money we're about to have to drop on this that we don't have. What in the world can we do? That's not what Jesus does. He looks at the barrier. He looks at the problem to the issue that is standing in front of the solution to the problem. And he doesn't shy away from it one doggone bit. Look what he says. One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, there is a boy here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what are they for so many? And Jesus said, have the people sit down. Jesus is like, oh, I know exactly what we're going to do. And I just want you to look at this screen for a second. There's one word up here highlighted. What is it? Boy. Let me tell you why I highlighted that. The reason I highlighted that, if you look at that word in the Greek, does anybody know what it means? What's that word mean in Greek? Does anybody know? Anybody want to take a guess? It means boy. But it don't just mean boy. It says in the Greek, a mere boy. A mere boy. What in the world does that mean? Just a boy. Just a little boy. That's literally what that word means. Just a little boy. That's all. Can't take him too seriously. He's just a little boy. He's not capable of much. You can't expect too much from him. He's just a mere boy. That's what that Greek word means. And the reason why I think that's so incredible is because I think so many of you are sitting here right now, and the reason why you struggle to make a difference is because you have a mere boy mentality. You think, what am I going to do? I'm not good enough. I don't have talents. I don't have abilities. And the reason why you think that, the reason why you just think you're just a mere boy or a mere girl, is because you compare yourself to all kinds of different people. You look at all the people around you who are making a difference, and you're comparing yourself to them, and you're like, I could never do that. I'm not good enough. I'll never be enough. And so you don't. And what I want you to see right here is all that Jesus needed to do this miracle right here is a mere boy. A little boy that had very little to offer, who had no expectations placed on him. None of the 5,000 men showed up that day. It was like, where's that boy at who's going to bring our food with him? Like, that's not reality. But Jesus sees that, and he says, I want to use that. I want to take this boy's 2 fish and 5 loaves and do something unbelievable with it. And that's exactly what he does. Look what it says. Jesus then took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to those who were seated. So also the fish, as much as they wanted. And when they had eaten their fill, he told his disciples, gather up the leftover fragments, that nothing may be lost. So they gathered them up and filled 12 baskets with fragments from the 5 barley loaves left by those who had eaten. When the people saw the sign that he had done, they said, this is indeed the prophet who is come into the world. Here's what I need you to see tonight. You can make a difference in this world. In a negative way, you can be very destructive. You can talk crap about your friends, be very, very destructive. You can try to date your best friend's friend, or your best friend's boyfriend, and be destructive, or friend, I don't know. There's all kinds of ways that you can be negatively destructive. And to be quite honest with you, that's nothing special, because we're really good at that, actually. You can make a positive difference. You can sell shoes and give those shoes away. And I'm not limited in that. That's awesome. It's incredible. There's so many positive things that you can do that has nothing to do with Jesus. But here's what I want you to see tonight. Listen very closely. If you want to make a difference, a lasting, eternal difference for Jesus Christ, all you have to do is be available to Him. You don't have to have an unbelievable musical talent. You don't have to be a Terry, or you can just shred the guitar. It helps, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be have the leadership skills of a president. You don't have to whatever it is. If you want to be used by Jesus, all you have to have is the willingness of a mere boy, and He will do unbelievable, incredible things in your life, and you will make a difference. Not because He needs you. Listen close. This is so important. Not because He needs you, but because He wants to use you in His plan. Jesus is powerful. Again, God holds the world in the palm of His hands. He does not need clay to stand up here to do His plan. He doesn't need me. But for reasons I don't even understand completely, to be quite honest with you, He wants to use me. He wants me to stand up here and tell you that you are far more powerful in Him than you could ever imagine. That the possibilities for you in Him are limitless. That there is nothing that stops you in Him. That the gates of hell cannot prevail against you when you are in Him. And so you can make a difference. You just have to be intentional about it. You have to choose to be available to Him. You have to bring your fishes. You have to bring your loaves and set them at the feet of Jesus and say, use them however you want to use them. So here's our bottom line tonight. My goodness. I had more planned, apparently. Use your fishes and loaves. Find your 5,000 and find your 12. Let me explain that real quick. Your talents, your skills, your abilities, that's your fishes and loaves. That's what you have to offer God. Maybe it's big, maybe it's small. It don't matter. You have what you have to offer to Jesus. And so here it is. I got what I got, and here it is. And then you find your 5,000. You find that large crowd. You find that ability to make a difference in effective and spiritual Jesus ways to a large number of people. But then also, too, you find your 12. You find that small group of people that you can make a difference with. Because you make a difference. I think, listen, this is important. I think often the reason why you don't make a difference is because you belittle the little differences in your life. You're like, well, I can't do anything to affect 5,000 people, so I just can't do anything. And that's trash. Like what I left out right there that we didn't go through because we ain't got time for some reason is because what Jesus does is He widows those 5,000 down to 12. And He does an entire miracle for 12 people. Because He loves and He cares for them so much. And what He wants to do is to show them the power that they can have in Him, and it's the same for you. Maybe it's that there is someone, one person in your life that you need to make a difference in for Jesus. My gosh, please go find that one person. Like, tonight is crazy for me. I was telling Olivia this earlier. Like, I want you to just think about what we just did for a second. Like, since I've been here, what tonight has never existed. And we've baptized people. That's not what I'm saying. Literally, everyone who got in this water tonight was baptized by another student. You realize that? One of you baptized another one of you 5 times in this water. And the reason why that's such a big deal is because it is an illustration of this. These 5 people who were baptized tonight were baptized because they were you people who found your one, found your 12, and made a difference in their life. And that's the same for you. There are people in this world who are just waiting for you to help them, who are waiting for your investment in them, or waiting for you to make a difference in their life. It just takes you being intentional to do it. Don't take you to have wild, unimaginable skills. It just takes you being intentional. Go, yep, I will, certainly. Just show me who it is, show me my fishes, my loaves, and I will go take them to them. Please work through me, God. And look, I love everybody who was in this water tonight. I mean, no disrespect by this, what I'm about to say. Not a single one of them are overwhelmingly impressive people. Mark Zuckerberg wasn't in this water tonight. Jeff Bezos wasn't in the water tonight. Donald Trump wasn't in the water. You know what I'm saying? Like, every one of them, we're all common people. There's nothing impressive about any of us. Because it doesn't take wildly impressive people to do incredible things for God. It takes normal people who are saying, I will. A mere boy who will say, here's my fishes. Here are my loaves. Just do something with it. I don't know what you're going to do with it. Couldn't even imagine what you would do with it, but I know you will. Please just do it. Here's what I got. That's you. That's me. You just have to be intentional. You have to decide that's what you want in your life. So, here's what I want you to do. We're running out of time. We got to go. But under your seat right here, there's a little paper, hopefully, if they did what I asked them to do. Not under it. I'm sorry, in the little cage. Are there papers in that cage? Somebody forget to do something I told them to. No papers? Okay, we'll get you a paper. In that paper, it's got goals on how to make a difference. It's going to ask you questions. What are your fishes? What are your loaves? That's your skills. That's your talents. That's your abilities that you'll write down. I told someone to put those out. They're right here. So when y'all leave, all these papers are for you, okay? And then it's going to ask you, I am going to make a difference by, I'm going to make a difference in LPY by, and then you write that out. You brainstorm. I am going to make a difference in my family by, and you write that down. I am going to make a difference in my family by, and then you write that down. That's for you. You don't have to pick it up. But that's here an interactive thing for you, because here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about this, because this is what it takes. It's not going to just happen for you. You have to choose to do it. So, I'm going to pray. Let me pray. And I need y'all to run to your small group locations. There's the papers if you want them. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, God. I thank you for these students. I thank you for the mysterious reality, God, that you want to use us in your plan. Like you have chosen not to just come down, push clouds out of the way and say, here I am. Instead, the mode in which you choose to show yourself to the world is through us. And so, Lord, I just pray that we would take that seriously, that we would make our lives count for something, that we would seek to make a difference for your name, not just make a difference in a positive way by doing really good things that don't involve you, God, not by making a difference in negative ways that don't involve you at all and is a detriment to our culture and to our peers. Instead, Lord, we would seek ways, opportunities for you to work through us, that we would bring our fishes and loaves to you, that we would identify what those are in our life, and that you would use them for unimaginable things, God. Give these students strength. Give these students courage to do just that. In your name we pray. Amen.